Hi guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Seal Napchals. I'm Aloreta. This channel belongs to my husband Simba and I, and we share our continuous life story on this platform. We share on the faithfulness of God, all things to do with marriage, parenting, career. We do a bit of vlogging, lifestyle videos, and all that. We recently became parents, so we also share on our parenting. We've just posted a video before this on parenting where my husband was interviewing me. If that's the type of content that you guys are interested in, please do consider subscribing so that you can become part of the Seal Nuptials family. And for those of you who've already subscribed, welcome back, and thank you for sticking around, and thank you for the love that you've shown. As you may have seen the trend now, we are picking up with consistency. Baby's growing, baby's grown, and yeah, we are getting better. But anyway, nonetheless, on today's video, this is part of the career content that you've signed up for, so thank you for sticking around. And on today's video, I just want to share tips on finding a job in Namibia. So also a life update. I thank God for his goodness, for his faithfulness. This is also a short testimony, a life update / testimony. I am currently lecturing part-time. I have also given just like a heads up in the previous video, but I didn't do much. So getting straight into the whole life update situation, I'm lecturing part-time, something that I'm really deeply passionate about, intentional about, something that I love to do. And if people who know me personally, if there's just one thing that or two things that they can tell you about me, is that I really love kids and that I live to teach. Basically, that's who I am in two categories. If you have to place me in two categories, a lover of children and someone who really loves to teach. And I think in the long run, I really want to open a school of my own. I can start with a kindergarten somehow. I was even thinking about it today. Maybe I should go for early childhood development and then start somewhere. Okay, a bit of background. I'm a qualified chartered accountant in Namibia. If you want to understand the whole route of becoming a chartered accountant, I've also done a video on that already. Okay, I will link it in the description box below. Okay, but on today's video, I just want to share with you guys how I've secured a job. So other than the part-time lecturing, I have also I'm changing jobs. The second part of the life update, I will not go into the details. I'm changing jobs. I resigned from my current company and I am not yet ready to disclose where I'm going to be starting, but I'm starting a new job and I thank God for that. So that's the life update. Part-time lecturing and having changed jobs. I'm actually starting in the next week. Tomorrow is Monday. So today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. And next week will be my last week at the workplace. So we are in March now, and after maternity leave, my maternity leave ended in September last year, and since then I've been applying for jobs, right? So September, October, November, December, January, February, 6 months, 7 months, roughly 7 months of searching for a job. And I have had about 8 interviews in the months, and I have landed offers on most of the jobs except for 2. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I've landed offers on the majority of the interviews I've gone to, and I thank God for that. So I really just want to share. I know a lot of young people who are searching for jobs and stuff. So I have my diary here. If I'm looking down, I'm going back to a few notes that I've made. So tips on searching for a job in Namibia. First of all, you need to identify your career goals. So for me, as a chartered accountant, there are a lot of things that I could do. I can go into full-time lecturing. Do I maybe want to be a professional development manager? Do I want to be a business manager? Do I want to do something in banking? Do I want to be an audit manager and all that? So first of all, the first thing I needed to do was to identify my career goals. I'm currently in finance. Do I want to continue with corporate finance, or do I want to change? So that's the whole thing. Very important to identify your career goals. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to be a teacher with your accounting degree? or do you want to go and lecture with your engineering degree? So you need to know what your career goals are, and you need to dedicate time for your search. You need to really take time. Searching for a job is not easy. You're not just gonna hand in a CV at one place and they call you for an interview and you go and you are successful. That is not how it works. So you need to be intentional about searching for a job. Most of the companies have established these online profile platforms where you can create a profile and you upload all your documents, so that when you're applying for a job, it's just a click of a button. I know of the universities have done that, the banks have done that. I know mainly Standard Bank and FNB have done that, where you create a profile. I know the mines also use the same. So when you are searching for a job, before you even see any vacancies, invest time and create profiles on different company platforms already, so that you have your documents and everything certified, scanned in and uploaded. So when you see a vacancy, click of a button, you can just apply. Okay. And then the very important thing is a CV. So when I started searching for a job, I actually started searching for a job before I got pregnant, just high level. And thank you, Stuart Mastor, that was my previous manager from one of the audit firms where I've worked at, looked at my CV and then he's like, girl, you're not serious. So he sent me a template of his CV to look at, and then he's like, you need to create something like this. And I didn't even know where to start. So I'm going to recommend someone that is called LP the designer. I'll share his Instagram handle with you guys where you can connect with him. He does different types of business logos and all that stuff. He also does CVs. He's the one who helped me with my CV. So your CV needs to look proper. I had a 2-page CV, all white, black and white, nothing fascinating and whatnot. And then I shared with him a template of how I wanted my CV to look, and he updated my CV for me. And as part of the duties and stuff, he elaborated. For example, let's say job experience, to say, okay, I have worked at company XYZ as a financial controller, where I'm responsible for submitting the withholding taxes and. So that is how you need to be detailed on your CV. Also, not too much detail. And the whole thing of putting a picture on your CV, I think it's up for debate. It's a personal choice. For me, I'd advise not to. It can put you in a position of discrimination based on gender and other things. Of course, you do state on your CV that you are female, but I would say rather just not put a picture on your CV. It's just my choice. If you've chosen to put a picture, then it's really a personal choice. But yeah, cool. And also, you need to have your LinkedIn profile up to date. I remember one of the guys that was part of the interview panels of one of the interviews that I was successful to have viewed my profile 3 days before the interview. So make sure people do check you out on LinkedIn. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile is updated and it needs to speak to what you are currently doing. Don't be sitting there with information that you've last updated 3 years ago. It's gonna put you off. So do update it frequently. And also refrain from company shaming, guys. I know of people who say, no, this bank is giving a crappy service, or what this company X and Y is what, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or even on your WhatsApp statuses. You don't know who sees these things, and you also do not know who sits on the interview panel. Refrain from company shaming. Currently on my WhatsApp, I view people's statuses when I have time, and I see people speaking a lot of things about companies. Refrain from company shaming. You do not know in whose hands your CV is going to end up, and you do not know who's going to sit on the interview panel. So just refrain, okay? And then the very important thing is networking. One of the jobs that I've landed now, I thank God, your answered prayers. Networking is very important. So last year I attended 2 networking events. The first networking event I attended was the Deloitte alumni function. So last year I attended the Deloitte alumni function, and that is where I've also gotten to network, because there people were also invited who now work at different other companies, and that is where I've also really introduced myself to the CEO of ICANN, Ms. Fanny Nikevali, and all the other prominent individuals, in the industry or in the profession, just to just to greet and say who you are, man, so that people can just recognize you. And she was also on one of the interview panels where I've been to. So it kind of serves a big deal because the people would kind of remember you. They've had a word or two with you. So networking is very important. And the second function I attended was an ICANN newly qualified CA lunch. That was also a very brilliant way of networking. And most of the interviews that I have added afterwards, some of the people that I have met at these networking events actually did sit in on the interview panels. So yeah, it really helps. It also kind of just helps you to be at ease knowing that you've seen this face before, you know what they are like. You kind of can pick, you know, certain traits about a person by maybe having a word or two with them. So it really does help to network. And you need to prepare for the interview. For me, I have so much faith. I am a woman of faith. Guys, I trust God. For me, it's either God will do it or nothing else. I have a very good feeling about this one. God is gonna go before me and make a way for me. I know searching for a job is hard. Wanting to change jobs is hard. But I know whose I am. And I know who I serve, a God that does not sleep nor slumber, a God who parts the seas so that we can walk right through it. Even sometimes when fear creeps in, I know that He's able and His promises never return to Him void. What He says, He will do. I also just want to encourage those of you who are searching for jobs, it is well. At His timing, He will make it happen. And this I'm already saying before I even get appointed, before even the interview. I'm speaking it into existence. It is done. I receive it. I perceive it. I believe it. And I've already received that in Jesus' name. This will end in a testimony. This will end in congratulations. This will end in an answered prayer. Amen. Plan B, no nothing. God will do it. The only thing I can struggle with is having my will aligned with God's will. Sometimes God will give you a no in something because He's preparing you for a yes in something, and having to understand and process that is what I struggle in. But other than that, trusting God, it's like my whole life depends on it. Pambelela, how fast and Jesus, like, Lord, if I know You will do it. I'm that type of girl. So preparing for an interview. When I apply for a job, I already look at the job description and then I prepare for an interview. Whether I'm going to be called or not, it does not matter. I invest time in preparing for an interview. You know what I've done over the months is I have this other notebook where I just have a basic interview template. There's some of the questions that I've picked up in the interviews that are recurring. Of course, questions like tell me about yourself. I already want to have line by line, properly summarized, tell me about yourself, response to that type of question. Or some of the questions that are going to be asking you on processes, I already know, okay, in a process, I need to identify what, assess what, implement what, maybe probably monitor what, and. So I already just know, okay, then I have my I for identify, I have my A for assess, I have another A for assigning resources. So I just do that. I work with acronyms. Is it acronyms? Yeah, I work with acronyms so that I can just memorize it, so that even if I'm asked the process of something, I already have my acronyms ready step by step, and then I can just apply to whatever the question is asking. So prepare for an interview, have a basic interview template that you can refer to, go through a lot of job descriptions as possible for the jobs that you're applying for. If you're applying, let's say, for an accounting job or an auditing job, for example, you will see that some of those job description points are recurring, so that you already are just well prepared. Sometimes you would get called for an interview on a Monday and the interview is on Wednesday or even Tuesday. The one I've landed a job, I was called 2 days before the interview. Was it 2 or 3 days before the interview? And I hardly had time to prepare, but because I had prepared a template already, I was just able to refer to that. And this specific one, I literally remember telling my husband that I am not going to prepare for this interview. I'm going to pray and trust God. But I was kind of comfortable and confident because of the work that I put in by developing a basic interview template. So it really does help, especially when you do not have time. And you need to give your references a heads up. Who do you put as your reference? Do you put your current boss as a reference? It depends on the relationship that you have with them. Is it somebody that wants to see you grow and prosper? Is it somebody that would give a good word about you even when you want to change jobs? We have different challenges that we face in our respective workplaces. So you do not want to be on bad terms with your boss and now you end up putting them as your reference. It's not gonna go very well. So probably put a reference from your previous workplace as your boss from the previous workplace, or your boss from the current workplace if you have a good relationship with them, or if you feel like they are fair and they will give you a good recommendation and just stuff like that. So just see. And also when you're searching for jobs, give your references a heads up to say, I'm searching for a job, please be expecting a call, or I've applied for this, please be expecting a call, so that they probably even have forgotten about you. One of the references I have is an audit partner from Deloitte, and I always communicate with him. I can actually now confidently say that he's my career mentor. I've applied for jobs before that he's told me that he calls me Makoti. So he calls me Makoti and he says, no, not that one. No, let's try this one, type of a thing. So I've kept him as my reference and I will continue to do so. Yeah. Okay. Basically, those are the pointers. I will do a separate video on interview tips, how to kill an interview. Trust me, I did not kill all the interviews I've gone to. Funny story, one of the interviews I've gone to, you cannot go talk about my YouTube channel, guys. Because the question was, what platforms am I going to use and how confident am I that I'll be able to do public speaking? What platforms am I going to use to communicate to students or members and what. That interview was tough. When I walked out of there, I told myself that it was the last interview that I'm going to be doing in the next 6 months. I'm taking a break. Whether a job finds me or not, I am taking a break. And thank God for his faithfulness, I was able to find something that I've been interviewed for before that specific one that I'd given up on. So it's not like I've killed all the interviews, but having gone through a few interviews, I've seen the trends. I have learned a few things that I am really willing to share with you guys. So today's video was just for me to really just share what to do when you are searching for a job as part of the career content that we've brought up or that we've promised you guys. I hope you guys have learned a thing or two from today's video. Please do pop in the comment section if you guys have questions and what type of videos that you want to see, especially pertaining to career. And I'm really excited and grateful for the next season. I actually don't feel like I'm changing seasons. Changing a job for me is not a change of season. Of course, it's something new that's coming up, new opportunities, new challenges, new growth, new strength, you know. But yeah, this is a very beautiful season and I'm grateful to God for that. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that you have really subscribed, and thank you so much for watching. Toodles.